Alright, hello everyone. Today we are going to have a Kobo Toolbox Masterclass, and this is powered by Thor's agency. And on behalf of Thor's agency, it's Anxious Nwabine who shall present to you this masterclass. And this Kobo Toolbox Masterclass, it is about developing mobile data collection forms or mobile data collection tools using XLS files or XLS forms. So at the end of the session, you should be able to configure your Toolbox account to your mobile data collection device. You should be able to understand an XLS reference file. You should be able to understand the various column headers on the various XLS sheets. You should be able to understand the advanced features of XLS forms, and we shall have a completed XLS form that we can use to go and collect data from the field. Yes, maybe before I go forward, many people usually confuse Kobo Toolbox and Kobo Collect. So Kobo Toolbox is basically a platform that allows data collection, storage, and basic analysis, whereas Kobo Collect is an application. It is available on App Store, which you can download to your mobile device. That is a smartphone or a tablet. Once you configure it with your KoboToolbox account, you can be able to go ahead in the field and collect data. Okay, so I thought it wise to show you some of the KoboToolbox resources, and this can help you to potentially enhance or improve your skills in developing XLS forms. So we have three of them. One is the KoboToolbox documentation, which is the official page or an official site for KoboToolbox. You can check on it and you'll be able to get all the necessary support that you need to regarding XLS forms. Then we have the ODK, the Open Data Kit XLS form documentation. It has the same information as the KoboToolbox documentation. And then we have online courses and tutorials, websites such as Coursera, edX, and other related during data collection. You can be able to encounter Kobo XLS forms once you go to such sites. Additionally, there are usually communities, for example, the Kobo Toolbox community, where you go and ask questions, and people are always there waiting to give you responses regarding what your question or what your problem is in developing XLS forms. All right, so we start with the requirements. Yes, to develop an XLS form, all you need is an Excel file. So you need Microsoft Excel on your laptop, on your PC, whichever it is. You can either have Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. So to have a running form that you can use to collect data in the field, you'll need a Kobo Collect account. We usually recommend a humanitarian plan because it offers more space and a higher limit of submissions, which is significantly better. And for organizations that are not really big, it can even work for them as long as they don't have too much data coming in at a time. And then you also need a Kobo Collect application on your Android smartphone or tablet. Once you have those three, then we are able to go to the field. We are able to develop a form and go to the field and collect data. So how do you configure your Toolbox account to the Kobo Collect application? After downloading the application, you enter the details as you're going to see below. This is the link you use if you have a humanitarian response plan, and then this is the link for the individual plan. So this is basically it. On my extreme left, there is a new Kobo Collect account that I have just opened. I've just downloaded it and opened. So you can either configure with a QR code or you manually enter project details. So when you select the second option of manually entering project details, you come and you put the URL. Remember, for my case, I have a humanitarian response plan. You put your username and you put your password. Once you do that, you'll get such kind of interface and shall show you that switched to humanitarian response info. So what you do to get the forms that are uploaded on your site, you go to download form and shall connect to the servers we are seeing here, and all forms that you have currently on your account shall be downloaded to your mobile device. And when you go to field, you just go and start new form and you pick a form of your choice and you start collecting data in the field. Yes, so we can now dive into the actual work of developing an XLS form. So a basic XLS form, it has three, okay, it's a CSV file with three sheets. Number one, survey sheet, choices sheet, and a settings sheet. For the survey sheet, when you have type, a column named type, a column named a name, and a column named label, you are good to go. And then for the choices sheet, you'll need a list name, list underscore name, you'll need the name and then label. The settings, even if you don't have anything there, you'll have your file and it will run. Okay. So the fact that we want to go advanced, we may end up adding on these many things. Yes, and you very well know that the reason we do this is to control data quality at the point of collection. We want to control the quality of data even in the field so that errors are minimized right from the collection point. Once that is done, then we get minimal or no errors at all. Yes. So with this, you can develop a basic data collection form, but let's dive into and become advanced. Yes. So these are three header names, but they can be as many as these on the survey sheet. Okay. So we have type, and type that basically defines the kind of values that are allowed in that field. This is basically what most people usually call data type, but it's not necessarily data type, but it shows the type of data that placeholder can receive, whether it is a text, whether it's a phone number, whether it is a picture, whether it is anything, a GPS location, or a video, or a file. It's under type. Then we have name. Name is very special thing you need to note here. This is a unique identifier. So for each question, there shouldn't be space in case you have used more than one word. If you have used more than one word in the case of name, you have to use underscores. There is no space, otherwise it won't validate. Okay. Yes, that is name and should be unique. That column, whatever is there should be unique throughout your XLS file. And then we have label. Label is what the person collecting data will see, or what the person filling the questionnaire will see. That is when it is a self-administered questionnaire. Yes. So if you have said age, and the other on label you have put sex, maybe age of the respondent, that's what the person collecting data will be able to see on their end. And then hint, this is also a column under the survey sheet. It basically shows you whatever you type there, it shall display as a small text to give a hint to the person who is collecting data. We shall see it as well as we are developing our form. And then we have another wonderful column, the required column. This enables you to make questions mandatory. So if it is required, unless it is filled, the form can't proceed to the next question. Then we have the relevant column. This is also known as the skip logic. You can use this to determine whether a question should show or not based on a particular criteria that you want. Such criteria may be like maybe if income, maybe of the previous income of the previous question. So you can say if income is above 1 million, then display this question. So once you put that kind of condition, that's when the question displays. And then we have appearance. Appearance is also very wonderful. It shows how questions will be displayed, whether as a URL button, whether it will display as maybe a search. For example, with this, it is more good when you have like a long list of choices and you have to type to get your choice very easily. For example, maybe you're typing in your village of origin. So you can easily type in the village when the appearance is specified. Maybe an example is minimal search, as we are going to see down in the actual developing of the tool. And then they have the default. Default is usually a fixed value, and once this is activated, the person who is collecting data doesn't have to do anything. Then we have another wonderful column for data validation, which is constraint. This specifies whether the input that the person collecting data has entered is allowed or not. So things like you don't want what you only want text figures, you do it in the constraint column. Maybe you want only capital letters, the same. Maybe you want digits, which should be 5 in number, the same thing. Maybe the string length, you want 10 characters, the same thing. And then the constraint message, that is what shows, especially when the person puts in a false, a thing that is not allowed, enters the data that is not allowed in that column. Maybe you had said that age should be greater than 18. Maybe you asked studies on adults and someone is putting 5 years. So you can put a message, maybe age must be greater than 18, greater or equal to 18, so that will display when the person puts in the wrong input. Okay, there are many. We have the calculation. This helps us in looking up for other things, especially if we have maybe uploaded data in our database, like on the KoboToolbox platform, on the media item. When I've uploaded there some files, we can look up to them using the calculation button. We can also put a formula in case maybe we have collected like the annual income and I want to get a monthly income. You can just have a question on monthly income and then you put the calculation question by getting the previous question divided by 12, and definitely we shall make this one as a read only. And then there is trigger, there is choice filter. Choice filter is also wonderful. We use this especially in cascading select. For example, you have a car, you are asking you about location, and people are from various regions. Those regions have various districts. The districts have various villages. So you can use the choice filter so that if someone selects eastern region, let's say, only districts from the eastern region shall display. If they select a district ABC, only villages in ABC shall display on the next question. Then also we have parameter. Parameter is also wonderful. So here we have you specify. You could have ever maybe filled an application form, and they are telling you that we want a CV, PDF format, uh, not more than 10 MBs. This is where you can do it. Such kind of thing. Then you have things like note, image. They are all great. So all these can be column headers in a survey file of an XLS sheet. All right, let's proceed. Then when you go to choices sheet, there are basically three, as we saw already: the list name, the name, and the label. We are going to see how to use them. Then you can have additional columns especially when you are using the cascading, which I think we shall look at in detail, in depth in our next tutorial, and there you can be very good to go. Then we have column headers for the settings sheet. So for the settings sheet, we have the form title, the form ID, the version, default language, and style. These are some of the what? Some of the column headers we can have there. And like I told you, you don't have to tamper with this. If you can tamper with it if you must. Like I've said, we have to go advanced. Whether you leave it blank, it shall still work very well. But in case you want to put, then it has column form title where you put the name of your form. Let's say study on gender-based violence or a data collection tool on gender-based violence. You can press it there. Once you upload your XLS form, it shall be good to go. And then form ID, you can choose to give it an ID. You can choose to give it a version, maybe the current date and 01, which is version 1. You can choose to give it a default language. Yeah, I didn't tell you that there is also language under the survey sheet where you can have languages. Maybe you want your form to appear in case you are distributing your form to different countries. Maybe you want those who are French to get it in French. You want those who are in Spain to get it in Spanish, like that, like that. Then style, this is also nice. It helps in ways of displaying questions for the form. You can have like a theme grid which displays all questions in compact grid, or you can have pages which displays questions, each question or field list on its own page. So these are column headers for the three basic sheets, for the three sheets that we have for each XLS form, or each XLS file, okay? Yes, so let's now go into the KoboToolbox XLS form advanced features. Yes, there are some key items to note here. For example, we have these mathematical operators. We have the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then the modulus. Okay, so these are used everywhere. Yes, and they help us to navigate. They help us to set up the required, the calculate, all that. They are very, very important. Then in addition to this, we have syntaxes, and mainly there is and or and they are also very much important. And then there is if, which can also be used in this KoboToolbox XLS-Forms. All right, so let's proceed. Very well, very well, very well. So now we are going to look on relevancy, we are going to look on appearances, we are going to look on constraints. Okay, and that one we shall open this file and we look at them in another Excel, Google Sheets file that is more elaborate. All right, so our file is here. Yes, it has a detailed part of the question type and what they can do. I would want us to start with the relevance, which many people call the skip logic. So this is the expression that determines whether a question should appear or not. So it is in line. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. So if I have my type here, I have name, okay, type name, and of course label. Then I have relevant. So maybe I can have here age, not age. I can have here integer. That's the question type for age. Then I have age, and then I have age of the respondent as the label. Okay. All right. So when I reach here, I can say maybe I can leave this one. So the next question, it can appear dependent on this. So the next question can be like also integer, and then now income. So I ask monthly income. What's the monthly income of the what? What's the monthly income of the respondent? So this is where the skip logic comes in. So I can come and put this kind of syntax, as we are going to see. I say dollar sign, open parentheses. I put in the name or the unique ID of the question for the age. Then I close. Then I put maybe 25. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that you ask the monthly income for that particular respondent only if their age is equal to 25. Here you can even put something like that, maybe greater than 20, greater than 24, something like that can work. Only if their age is greater than 24, that's when this one should appear. So those who are 24 and below, this question won't appear asking them for the monthly income received. Okay, so that is how the skip logic works. So they have given us some examples. For example, is this one. So this one is mainly saying that that question which we are on should only appear if question 1 is not blank or has not blank. So it depends what the person has entered using the data collection form as they are in the field. So if maybe the first question was, what is your money? That was my true one, not money. Okay, what is your age? And someone didn't put anything. This question here won't appear, which has this kind of condition. So here, this question will appear if the age is less than 18, like that, like that, like that. Then string length, maybe you could be targeting people who are earning a 6-figure income. So you can ask, what is your monthly salary? And maybe someone puts 1 million US dollars. So you'll be like, if the string length or like the length of the figure put is less than 3, then don't consider that. That means it should be 3, it should be 4 and above, okay? It should be 4 and above. It should, in other words, be greater than 3. So someone who is earning in thousands, we don't see them. Those who are earning 10,000, we can have them. Those who are earning 100,000 US dollars, we can have them. And those who are earning in millions and then billions and trillion US dollars, we can have those like that, like that. So that is all about the what? That is all about the skip project. We are going to see the practical thing of the skip project as we shall be doing our very first XLS form. Yes, then we have the appearance. This is how the question appears to the person who is collecting data in the field. Okay, so there are things like URL. You may want it to appear as a button directing him to somewhere. Maybe you're asking them, read terms and conditions of our circle. Circle here in our country is savings and credit cooperative organization or society. Yes, so maybe your study is on a circle and you want to see whether farmers, it is maybe targeting farmers, and you want to see whether farmers will join in the circle. So you can put a URL in the appearance if you have a website you're sending them to, so they can read terms and conditions of the circle and decide whether to join or not. And then we have things like minimal. I don't tell the minimal search. It shows you put a text. If you are searching for, let's say, Johnny, you can put JOH and shall bring Johnny's everything down, and you, so it can be able to quickly give you something to put on. They are quite a number. And then you have like art. Here you may want to So that the choices which are available, they show horizontally as a Likert scale. You will have to put the Likert in the appearance column. And then we have field list. You want to show the choices on the same screen. There is label. You only want to see labels. List no labels. You don't want to see the labels. You only want to see the buttons. Okay. Yes. So there are many, as you can see. This file, we can put the link in the description, but still all this you can get it from the resources that I showed you at the beginning, the KoboToolbox documentation, the ODK documentation. Okay, and then the most important column for advanced XLS development, especially when you are concerned about data validation and ensuring data quality, is constraint, the constraint column. So here you determine what kind of data do you want to receive, and don't confuse this with bias. Okay, don't confuse this with data collection bias. Here we are trying to eliminate cases that we don't have in our data. For example, our study may be targeting people who are maybe 50 years and above, so you can restrict age to maybe 50 years plus. Okay, so that you eliminate cases of having people with age 18, or you may be targeting household heads and you find someone is putting in like age, maybe someone has age 5, so you can get rid of this using the constraint column. Here you restrict the criteria you want to receive. If your study is about household heads, then you have to put age should be greater or equal to 18 years. That means if they put any number below 18, it shall receive that. You know, at some point the data collectors can get tired and you find when, or maybe errors on the devices and all that, all those challenges. So those kinds of errors that are human, you can eliminate them using this. If you want maybe a telephone number which is 10 digit, you can restrict to have 10 digit. You can either use this string length, or you can even use another advanced one, something like this. This one is also allowing data. Now this one, like, it allows the question. The response should may have up to 6 letters. So that means you can have A to Z capital, A to Z small, but the length should be not more than 6. So all these constraints, you can have them, and I can assure you that anything you need has been catered for. Anything to do with validation, with constraints, they are there. You just need just a simple knowledge to see how you can apply it. It is very wide. Yes. So there is another one, the calculate, the choice filter. We are going to look at all those in details in our next tutorials. So make sure to keep following us. Yes. So from here, we are going to quickly get a questionnaire and then develop our very first XLS form. All right. So yes, I have a sample questionnaire here on gender-based violence, and we advise that for those people who are working in projects M&E, make sure you first develop these tools on paper. That helps you a lot because you shall be able to know if you want to revise the tool, you can easily revise the tool. You can be able to tell where the error is. You can be able to discuss this tool with other stakeholders, especially those who may not be very much conversed with this kind of coding that we do in an XLS file. So as usual, I told you we need an Excel file. So I will open an Excel, a new Excel, blank workbook. Okay, I already have my questionnaire. It is just basic for study purposes. It is about gender-based violence. I'm sure it has most of the features, if not all the features that we need. Okay, then there are some obvious things which you have to do when you are conducting a study, obtaining all the regulatory clearances from the local, national, and subnational administrative units. Then stakeholder engagement, then informing people about your study so that you don't get resistance, communicating the importance of the study. All those are the things which should be done prior and also taught to your data collectors so that you don't get challenges in the field. Yes, so I told you we have 3 basic sheets, and that is survey. We have settings, survey choices, and settings. Choices, yes, like this. So they are supposed to be like this: survey, choices, and then settings. We already have our column headers, so I can come pick them here. Alright, I come and paste them. I can first have them like this and then transpose them because they are supposed to be column headers. And I get rid of this. It is usually good to freeze the header row or the top row, which will enable you to easily navigate. Try to expand here so that we can be able to see. Then for the choices, you know very well we have said that we have three column headers for the basic one. We have list name, and then we have name, and then we have label. As simple as that. So we can also choose to freeze the top row. Yes, and then we have this. All right. So looking at our questionnaire, the first thing is consent. You can't force to ask someone in a study. They have a right to either to respond or not to respond. That is the other additional knowledge which we may not communicate all here. So there's something which was in our question types, and it is beginning group and end group. So if we want to group a certain number of questions or a section of questions in one area, you put them in the group. Okay, yes, so it is the same thing I'm going to start to do here. So now what you need to know about beginning group and end group is that every group you start, you have to end it. In other words, when you don't end the group, it won't validate the form. The XLS form won't validate at all. So I can choose maybe to give it a name, maybe group 1, whichever, and then the name is informed consent. The label is informed consent. Okay, yes. So the informed consent usually has a question type. Sorry, it has a question type called acknowledge. Yes. This is usually the question type that we use for informed consent, so that when the respondent says okay, we can be able to proceed with the questionnaire. my phone, my PC. Let me try to connect to the charger, and then we proceed. Thank you. Perfect. So, uh, acknowledge. Then the name, maybe I can call it consent because it is the informed consent. Good. So the beauty is that when you have this thing of ours, you can just come and copy and paste. Yeah, is it required? Yes, it is required. Someone has to consent for us to proceed. Okay, so this can stay here like this, and then we begin another group. I'm very lazy, so I can copy and paste this. Okay. So the first group is about the background information. So I can call it group 2 if I want. Then I'll call it section 1. Background information. Alright, now that the person has already consented, we can choose to put a GPS location. So I can put a geo point, then I can call it GPS, then I say record GPS location for the respondent or at the time of data collection. In other words, all I need is to know that where the form was filled from. So once I have this, I can proceed. So I will ask him region of origin, and I can call it Q2 as it is here in the question in our tool, in our questionnaire. Then I can have this as respondents, region of origin. And as we can see from this side, we have central, eastern, western, and northern. So that is a select one, because the person must be coming from one region. So select one region. Now this is where the thing comes in. Okay. So when you have these many choices as we have them here, and the person has to select one. Now you'll come here, and those will be in the label. Okay. So when they are in the label, you can give them any names you want, as long as they are unique. Okay. So once you have given them the unique names, what you have put here, you see we are saying that select one from region. So this region here that we have here, you come and put it here, and it has to come on all these 4 choices. So in other words, here we are instructing the computer to go to the choices whose list name is region and select one region that they come from. And this is the whole chemistry that is behind it. Alright, so that is done. So we can go to another question. Another question is talking about district of origin, and that is Q2, district of origin. So we put it here. So we can maybe have it as respondents district of origin, and this is Q3. Whether it's capital, it is okay, as long as there is no space, as long as there is nothing. Okay, so now this is district. I can call this one district. Then I shall put all the districts here in the choices sheet. Remember, we can ease this through cascading, so that when we select central, the person tells that the next question to just displays as districts from the central region. But we shall look at that in our next tutorial, so kindly follow that. So I come still, I have this district. You remember here you can put anything that you want. as long as it corresponds to what is here on the list name. So the districts, they are quite a number. I even have their list here, so I can come and copy them and paste them in the choices. Very good, and ensure that every district has a list name called district. Good. Then from there, we can now give them names. Under the choices, each group, it must have unique names. But if this is a different group and this is a different group, if the names repeat, that's okay. But here, this column has to be, every content in this column has to be unique throughout. Okay, that's under the survey sheet. Under the choices sheet, each group, so something like this, now this can't happen. They have to be different. But something like having 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first group and 1, 2, 3, 4 in another group, that is very okay. All right. So we just basically do this, confirm whether it has reached. Okay, okay, okay. Very well, very well. Nice, nice, nice. So so after that we have the gender of the respondent. So I can come and copy this, then come to my questions. This should be a label, gender of the respondents. Good. I can call this Q4. So it is also a select one, because at that point you have to have one gender. Interesting. Yes. So what do we have? We have male, we have female, and then we have rather not say. So let's take this one here in the choices. Good. So I shall again copy this gender here and come put it here as a list name. All right. So this is 1, 2, and this is 3. Powerful, powerful. What do we have next? We have age group or age category. So I come here and put age group of the respondent. So I can select one, and I put age group. It can't have space. We have to, because now they will have become 4 things, actually 3 things, when they are supposed to be only 2. Okay, take note of that. Those are some of the sources of errors. So this can be my Q5. So age group, I should also come put it here in the choices sheet. And what age groups do we have? We have 4 age groups. So I bring them here. Very nice, very nice. Remember, depending on the study you're doing, still there is studies where you find you have to uniformly group age groups, like you have uniform categories. And then there are others where you find that you have to space them as you want based on what the study is all about. Okay, so you need to have that in mind. Remember, these tools, you develop them with the experts, maybe in demography, experts in gender-based violence, experts in human rights. So that's where all that is collected. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can have these other names also here. So age group is done. Very good. Then select all sources of information on gender-based violence. Good. So let's put this. That is our Q5. Q6 here. Q6. Select all sources of gender-based violence. So that means there are many, so we have to select multiple now. Okay, another question type, select multiple. I can call it sources, you can call it anything. So I will come here on choices, and then I will put sources, and then I will come and pick my sources here. So we have quite a number. We have radio, we have TV, we have newspaper, we have campaigns. Okay, I come and paste them here. Where I don't need the bullets. So I can move the bullets, copy again, and reapply them. Come and paste them here. Alright, so sources, the list name has to cover all of them. So I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 8. So if you look, we have another specify thing. So we need to create a specification for it. So which has to be a text, and then other sources, maybe we can name it like that, other sources, and then we be like specify other sources of information on gender-based violence. Okay. Where? So you come here. This one will need some configuration, so let me highlight it for now, so that we get back to it after finishing the whole questionnaire. Nice. So when we go back to our questionnaire, we see that one is done. So we can do this other section, and we complete, and then we'll see how our form comes out. Nice. So I can again begin a group. This section is on questions about gender-based violence. So I can maybe call it, I can call it group what? Group 3. Then the label, I call it section 2. I can even call it gender-based violence. Assessment. So remember, for my case, in order not to forget, I always end the group immediately. Okay. So yes. So as we can see from the questionnaire, they are saying read. We would like to ask you about your recent feelings of safety and of other people who you know. If at any time you do not feel comfortable answering these questions in your current environment, please let us know, and we will move to the next section or the next module. So this one does not need the person to enter anything. So I call it a note. The name I can call it maybe note 1, and that is the label. Okay? Yes. So that is done. So I now go to the first question. I see they are giving them codes like SP00, so I can also have such kind of codes. And what is it asking? It is saying that is there anyone around you older than 2 years old who can overhear this information? So yeah, I can put that in the label. And what are the answers? The answer is yes and no. So that is the select one. So I can come and put this one here, and maybe I call it YN. So here I will come and put YN, maybe 1, 2, and I put yes, I put no. Very well. So that one is done. There is a skip logic specified, but let's first complete, and we shall come back to it later. Then we have our next question. Do you live in the same? And it is SP001. So what is the answer? The answer is yes and no. So meaning this thing can still work for me here because the answers are the same. Okay, very nice. What is the next question? Prior to March 2020, did you feel safe driving, living with your employer? So I can come and put this one here, and that is SP03. Okay, and then what are the choices? I have very safe, somewhat safe. So I can copy these bad boys and come and put them in a choices sheet. Good. So I can call this one 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so this one I shall need something else. I can call it maybe safe. Okay. I come and put it here in the list name. I drag so that it covers the entire group. So that one is done as well. Do you live in a shared accommodation? Okay, so let me also take this one here on the survey. Very good, very good. What are the answers? We have yes with co-residence and then no. Alright, so this is different from yes or no. So I will also take it on its own. Okay, so go back to my file, choices, I paste. So it should be yes with co-residence. So I can call this one 1, 2, and since it is similar to yes and no, I can put something like this. So if I put this one, I'll just add a Z here to make it look like that. Alright, good. So what's the next question? The next question is prior to 2020, did you feel safe sharing accommodation with other workers? So I come to the survey, I paste that here. Good. What are the responses? Well, they are kinda very safe, somewhat safe, not too safe. Yeah, they are the same as the other question. So that means this question of safe can still work here. Very nice. Then the next question, since onset of COVID, do you feel less or more safe driving in your residence? So I come and paste this one here. That is SP05. What are the responses? More safe. Very good. Somewhat more safe. So these are kind of different as well. So let me put another one. So it is only more safe. Somewhat more safe. No change. And less safe. So I can have still 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 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 yes. Then I can have maybe now safety. This is different from the other one. Nice. So I select one. Instead of safe, I now have safety. Good. What's our next question? Our next question, why do you feel less safe? And they are saying do not read answers. Select all that apply. Okay. This is interesting. So this is the select all, select multiple, sorry. Select multiple. Then I can call it reasons because they are asking why are you not safe. But you can call it anything. And this is what I shall put here. And then I come here, I copy all these reasons, I bring them this side on the choices. Very good, very good, very good. Very good, very good. Should be 10. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I can make this field easily. Remember, they are saying do not read, so this is a hint to the data collector. So in other words, they don't have to read these choices, but they shall listen, and what the person tells them is what they shall select. So I come and put it on hint under this column, hint. Use a better color. Okay, I don't know that it is better, but I think it can work. So we have put it here on the hint section. Don't get confused. Okay. Yes, here. So our next question is, since the onset of COVID, do you know if any of your co-workers, friends, neighbors, someone in your community has experienced abuse or sexual harassment? So I come as well and put that here, and that is S07. What are the responses? Yes or no? So that means this thing of mine can work here as well. Very nice. Finally, okay, we still have one more. What is the last time you went to your residence? Date, month, year, these days ago. Okay, okay, okay. This is interesting. So we can have this. When was the last time you went to your residence? You can have this as a note, and I call it note 2. Okay. Yes. Then I have, let me create more columns. I can have here date. So date, maybe I can even call it DD. When was the last time you went outside of your residence? Then I can have this one here. Then I call it last date. You went outside of your residence. Something like this. Then another option is this days ago. So I can have integer. I put maybe days. Put days ago. Then I have another one which is do not remember. So I can put text, something like this. Do not remember. This is one way. There are other ways of doing this thing very well. So here I can actually begin a group within another group. I don't know which group this is now, maybe group 4. Okay, so I can put for these questions, indicate. Alright, so I can, now this one I would want to see it on one page, so I can put field list in the appearance. Appearances, they are here. You remember I told you have quite a number. They are very many. So you can always check them, visit them, and get the one which applies to your section. Okay, the one which applies to your question that you are having at the moment. So field list, good. So that's how the whole group will appear. It will appear on one section so that someone is able to select easily. But there are other ways of elaborating this question. All right. You can actually choose to have it at the end rather than having it here. You put it on another group. Do you still continue to interact with your friends and social groups? So you can also have this one. You can choose to have it here, or we can choose to have it outside this group. Let's get rid of this. I will need to show you a better way of doing this, not inside this tutorial, because we don't need to make it congested. Yes, so let's have SP09, SP09, SP09. It has how many? It has around 5. It has around 5 choices. So this should be in the choices sheet. Yes. Yes. So I can call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it is asking what? Do you still interact? So it is select 1. You can call it interact. Okay. So this is interact here in the list, in the list name. Very nice. So we can say that our basic questionnaire is done, and it is actually not basic. You realize it is a bit big. So let's now configure the escape projects which are there, and then we'll be able to load it, and we shall successfully complete our masterclass. All right. So from the questionnaire, the first questions are okay. They are all okay. When we come here on the first SP00, it says that if yes, you skip to 2. Okay, so what do? We come here and it's here. So this means this should appear if the answer is no. And what is our no? From our choices section, our no is 2. So we can come here and say that this question SP01 become in the relevant, and we say that it should appear if SP00 is not equal to 1, because 1 is yes. Okay, 1 is yes. So you come like that under the relevant column. You'll be like SP00 in the parentheses. It should not be equal to 1. And So for question 2, they are saying you see, when the first question is 1, we go to 2, we go to 5, and we go to 6, we go to 7, and we go to 8. So we go to 2. Let me first do 2. So it is the same thing, only that here we put is equal to 1. You see, it is just interesting. Then we go to 5. SP005, maybe let me try to reduce so that you can be able to see. SP005. Okay. SP005 is here. Good. They say that we also got 6. And SP006 is also here, the following one. Alright. So from there, when I go to SP03, they are saying that if no, we go to SP05. Okay. Yes. So that means SP05, it can occur when the first one is equal to 1, or when SP03 or when SP03 is equal to 2. So you come, you put your config here, you configure it. They are saying if this one is equal to no. Yes, if this one is equal to no, and we all know that our no is 2. Where do we get that from? We get that from here. This name, the unique name for the yn. 1 is 2. Yes. This should be ynz, which is the same case, I think. 1 is, yes, is 1, then this is 2. Good. Okay, so that is done. And then when we go to SP05, make use of the highlight colors. They help you not to leave out anything. And when you see most of the forms I have developed, especially the huge complicated forms, I'll be having a number of colors to enable me not to miss out anything. So that when we go to SP05, they are saying if it is 1, if it is 2, if it is 3, and if it is 6, then we go to SP07. So I will come and copy the unique name for this, which is SP05. Then I go to SP07. They are saying that SP07 should appear if this bad boy is equal to 1, or is equal to 2, or is equal to, let me check again, 1, 2, 3, and 6. 3, or is equal to 6. Perfect. Then what it is? I think that's all. Yeah, that's all. So you can find when you have a number of skip logics, you can configure all of them. So yes, what else do we need? Yes, these guys are all required. So here up here should be required. I mean mandatory. Should be mandatory. So we put in the true bit. Even here, all these things should be mandatory. Up here. Perfect. Then yes, we had a thing of district, which had very many districts. So in the appearance, we can put a minimal search so that someone is able to do what? Someone is able to search easily and get whatever they are looking for. Yes, by putting just keywords to get a particular district they want. What it is? Yes, there is this text one. So this text should appear if the multiple sources, someone selected others and others, I see it's 8. So sources is choose 6. So I come here in the relevant. So I put that this should only appear if choose 6 is equal to 8. So if someone selected other choice, other sources of gender-based, other sources of information on gender-based violence, so this question will appear. Okay. Someone is calling me. I can wait. All right. So yes. So I think we have it all, and we can now go ahead and save our file, and then work on it. We can save our file and start the validation. Hello. Hi, Jackie. I'm fine. How are you? Sorry? Yes, I'm in camp.
In office?
Yes, in office.
At around maybe 3:30 or 4.
Yes.
I'll be meeting with the director, but yet he's still having another meeting.
Okay.
So just maybe
It's okay.
the meeting will come.
It's okay. I'll be there. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So we save our file. So I can maybe say gender-based violence study data collection tool. Also, when you're saving this file, don't leave space, since we are going to upload it as an XLS file. All right. So after doing that, we open where our file is located, and there is a tool. We need to validate our form, right? You can either use an online validator, but for us, we have a tool here. When you need it, I'm going to share a link in the description. So you select your tool or your file that you have just done, and you drag it over the XLS form. So when you drag it, it will show you any error that you have, okay, and where it is. So I think when we are doing our skip logic, let me show you what we did. I did this intentionally so that you can see it. When you look closely, when we reached here, this one. These brackets, the parentheses should be here. Okay. So that was it. So I can have it once. There was a comma actually. It is very long. So yeah, we save Then we again validate. It's validated. Once it shows conversion complete, you're good to go. So we come, we open our what? We open our Kobo. I already have it here, very nearby. You open your account, and then you log in. You put in your username and password. You see this one has already been put, but it's still in draft. Maybe I can remove it so that you see it fresh. Yes, project deleted. So this when I come here, these are projects. Then this is the library. So on projects, that's where all your forms come. And if you want to add a new form, you come to new. It should ask you whether it's built on Scratch, whether you use a template, whether you import XLS form via URL, or whether to upload. But for us, we want to upload because I have my XLS form on my laptop. So I upload, I select it, it was on desktop, Kobo Validator, and this is the one. So it shall come and upload. Then it asks me a few questions here and there. I fill in. So this is the tool name, project name, or form name. You can choose to edit it. A description. This is a gender-based violence assessment tool. Sector humanitarian. So maybe I can put humanitarian information management. I'll select Uganda because that's where I am sitting right now. Then I create project. So after that, I would want to deploy my form so that it is on the server. So it will show you deployed. And once you have deployed the form, you see we have summary. When you collect data, they summarize for you, like basic descriptive statistics of what have been so far received. And then we have form. This is the form. And under here, you have where to copy the link from, whether it should accept online and offline submissions, where it should accept online only, single submission. The single submission will require a sign-in. Online only, multiple. So we usually select the offline, online, offline, multiple submission, so that even when someone is in an area where there is no internet connection, they can still collect data and send it to the server once they get where internet is. And then that data, this is data that is collected. It can be shown as a table, as a report, as a gallery. When you are taking pictures, they will all come here. Then if you want to download it, you download from this area. Then if you are collecting GPS, like our form has a GPS collection, the map shall be displayed here of everything that has been collected, the data points which have been collected. And settings, this is very key. We have general, we have media sharing. We shall look at this when we are doing our next tutorial on calculate. Yes, where we look up to this now media area, the files which are already there. So since we have our form, we can come and copy the link. When you share this link that we have copied, let me first paste it here. This link that we have copied here, we can share it with anyone who can collect our data. So even you there, you can actually you can feel free to fill in data using this link. I'm going to also add it to the description of this video, and you can fill so that we get submissions, and even as we are doing our next stages of analysis and all that, I will show you how we do it using that data that you have actually entered. So if I paste that link here, it can load the form. It can load the form. So as you can see, uh, that is my Kobo collect form. GPS, you select GPS, and then they will ask you Central, Eastern, select any district. Then this is the minimal search I told you, so here I can search maybe uh, Zombo. I select Zombo, then mail, age group. Very good, very good. Select many. I can select many sources. Gender-based violence assessment. Yes. You see, when I select yes, it goes to the next. When I select no, it brings the second. You get, that's the skip logic working here. Very wonderful, very wonderful. So that is our form, and that is our very first form. We shall have subsequent videos to go in detail about all these advanced features that we have seen. Thank you, and don't forget that this is powered by storage agents, and we unleash service excellence.